right thing. Right, bear with. This is the part where technology fails me. Let's see where we are. Oh, wonderful. Right, let me just get the chat box up so I can see that. Hang on, scroll down. Nice to meet you, Elizabeth. Right, here we go. Let me just make it larger. Right. So, what we're going to do is during the next hour, give or take, let me just move my chat box now I can't see my slides. Always good fun trying to navigate all of this. But we're going to go through the mistakes that a lot of career women make, and it can be the number one reasons why you're not getting to where you ladies want to get to. So, I can guarantee you've probably tried lots of different things and you're on this Zoom because you feel like something is missing, something has not been able to get you to the point where you want to get to. I'm also going to take you through the three things that we do inside of the Strong Her program, which is what we teach inside of here, and what we do to absolutely guarantee that every single woman that comes in with a fat loss goal hits that 10 kilos in 90 days. It's not as complicated as a lot of people think. So I'm going to break it all down for you so that you guys can understand exactly what we do. A roadmap for 2025. Like, again, a lot of you guys are going to be thinking about 2025 in terms of your health and fitness. So I want to set you up with as much success as possible. At the very end of this webinar, so for those of you who stick it out and are serious, then there is going to be a special offer right at the very end. And for perspective, we had over 50 women register for this webinar, and there are not 50 of you in attendance, which just goes to show that some people are already, even just attending a 1 hour webinar is too much. So the special offer is going to be amazing because we value dedication and people that show up when they say they're going to show up for themselves. And that's every single woman on this webinar this evening. So we obviously have a lot of success with the women inside of this program. We 100% specialize in career-driven women. That is our niche. You guys operate differently. You'll have a lot of time commitments, and we usually also specialize with women in their 30s and their 40s. Now, there is a lot of reasoning behind that, and it's because it feels like it gets a lot harder, and it's also the point in my life where I am. So I feel like I can coach you based on the fact that I have been in a similar position to where you ladies feel like you're probably at now. So why do women often struggle? Now, the fad diet industry has got an enormous part to play in this. So, Slimming World, Weight Watchers, and nearly every single woman I speak to has tried one kind of fad diet, all of the fad diets, you name it. Usually they've tried them. Now, they are cheap and cheerful. I'm not going to lie to you. What is it? Maybe a tenner or whatever a month. And the reality is, it's a volume game. It is a multi-billion-pound industry that is designed for you to fail because the only way their system works is if you keep failing and then you keep having to come back. So, although it feels affordable, in the long term, I can guarantee you'll waste a fuck ton more money going down that route. Anyone that tells you that certain foods are banned or that you can have an absolute unlimited amount of carbohydrates with absolutely no consequences, or that a mashed banana suddenly means it's calorie free, whereas a normal banana does not. There's something really fucking wrong with that. Really fucking wrong with that. And the one thing I will say is if you have failed on those kind of diets, trust me when I say it is not your fault. 1000% it is not. So, one of the other reason is dramatically decreasing calories far too quickly, as in going down to 1,000 calories, 800 calories. We will all, between us, know women who have done this. You guys might have even done it before as well. But again, the reality of that situation is that you are not going to get sustainable results because you cannot function with your body on such low calories over a period of time. So you might get fast results, but then you go on holiday and shock, all of the weight comes straight back on plus some because all you've done is absolutely kill your metabolism by trying to do that. Then it doesn't understand what's going on when you suddenly really spike your calories on holiday. So it's just not a great approach. Doing a ton of cardio. So one of the massive mistakes that a lot of women make is thinking, right, okay, you know what? I want to get in shape. I want to lose weight. I'm going to start running or I'm going to go to the gym. And this is really common. The only machines that you are going to feel comfortable and confident actually using are the treadmill, the cross trainer, the row machine, and the bike. All cardio. That is not going to get you to your goal. And one of the reasons for that is high intensity cardio or HIIT training. That's probably what you guys commonly refer to it as. But anything that spikes your heart rate really high will also spike your hunger levels really high too. So the moment you finish that workout, you're suddenly going to be left feeling ravenous and you're then going to want to grab everything in sight and you're going to start convenient eating. So that again is setting you up to fail. Anyone that doesn't love running, you're in the right place. We do have some women inside of the program, albeit they do love running. That's absolutely fine. We come up with a mixed strategy for them, but it's not the primary goal if your goal is to drop body fat. It just never will be. Taking an all or nothing approach. So, this idea of going like balls to the wall in a condensed amount of time and then wondering why you can't stick to it, or going, right, I'm going to go and join the gym and I'm going to go every single day. You will see this across January. Gyms are notoriously significantly busier in January than they are in February. And that's because people try and do things that they just cannot work into their lifestyle. You guys are probably working very, very busy, busy. Can you see my slides, by the way? Somebody's just said in the chat that they can't see the slides. Can someone confirm that you can definitely see the slides? Because that's really awkward if I've got this far and you can't. Could somebody just put yes in the Oh Christ. Right, okay, let me stop sharing. Hang on. That's annoying, isn't it? Right, let me try. For some reason, I think it's this one. Right, can you see those now? I could see them, so I don't know why you guys couldn't. Is that clear? Can you see them now? I've just redone it. Yeah, perfect. Right. I'm assuming everyone can see them now. Right. Sorry about that. I'll just flick back so you can see those really quickly. But I mean, I was saying it anyway, so you should be all good. Right, we'll just carry on because you can see them now. So where were we at? Two. So the all or nothing approach, gyms are going to be really busy in January because everybody's trying to overcommit. And when we try and overcommit, it's going to make your lives really difficult because again, it's all about finding out something that's going to work for you. And there are so many myths on the market. It's almost the same as the coaches that will say you have to live on chicken, rice, and veg. You can't have anything fun in your diet. You can't have a piece of chocolate. You can't do anything. It's all bollocks. It is all bollocks. Trying to cut out carbohydrates. Again, carbohydrates are our greatest energy source. They are our immediate available energy that we can have. And I will talk you through the macronutrients breakdown of carbohydrates, protein, and fats, which are the three macronutrient groups that we need to track in order to drop body fat. And there is a bit of a science that goes in behind how much of each one that you should be aiming for, but we do not cut out carbohydrates. Again, the reality is chocolate is a carbohydrate. You don't want to cut that out. Why would you want to go through Easter not being able to have any chocolate? Christmas is coming up. You guys are going to want to have some chocolate or something in your lives. Again, like fruit and vegetables are also carbohydrates. And this is where people get really confused, thinking, but there's nothing wrong with a potato or rice or any carbohydrate for that matter. They all have absolute values and they all are made up of calories. So they're all good. Shift work and not appreciating your career demands. This is another thing. So, if you're working really long hours, which a lot of the women inside of our program do, we've got nurses, we've got shift workers, we've got people who are in the ambulance team, we've got people all different walks of life. And I will share some of their stories soon, but this is again another thing, almost that all or nothing, trying to overcomplicate it, overcommit when actually accepting that, you know what, it might take a little bit longer, but you're going to do it the right way and the body fat is going to stay off. And that's actually a better approach if you're working really long hours. Some of you guys might be parents as well, and you've got other demands, like trying to compare yourselves to a fitness influencer, which by the way, I am not. I'm very real over here. I do not wear makeup. I'm in a dressing gown because I'm forever fucking cold on this planet. I've just got back to the UK and it is Baltic compared to where I've just been. But this is it. It's like trying to compare yourself to a fitness influencer online where that is their entire personality. Of course, they're going to get the results a lot faster than some of you ladies, where you've got other hats to put on and take off throughout the day. Working with the PT for fat loss is also about one of the worst decisions you can make. The reason for this is a PT's job is to absolutely blast you in the gym for 1 hour. That is your session with them. Most people, you might do 1 hour, you might do up to 3 hours a week, but somewhere around there. But their job is entirely around thrashing you in that gym, getting you sweating, usually high intensity cardio. Again, there's going to be a lot of that in there. And it's a completely random workout every single session that you have with them, which is not the way that you're going to get the body that you are looking for. If you want a toned physique, a PT is not going to do that. And guess what, ladies? Fat loss is 100% to do with nutrition. It's got fuck all to do with the training. Absolutely fuck all. And a PT does not have the time to teach you that because their job is filling their calendar with one-to-one sessions. They usually don't have the time to actually be there to look through a nutrition log with you and to actually educate you on your macros and all of that. So the world of online fitness coaches to an in-person PT, we are vastly different. And anyone that calls me a PT, I do get offended. There's nothing wrong with PTs. It's just that is not their job. It's completely different. We focus on body fat and getting you into incredible shape. That is our goal. Putting yourself at the bottom of the never-ending to-do list. How many women of you guys are guilty of doing that? Where again, your career comes first, your marriage, your partnership, your children, and you literally go all the way to the bottom of that list. And this concept that I do not have time to commit to this. And usually it's that you don't have time to commit to what you think is actually required versus what is actually required. They're two very different things. So they're the usual reasons why women are failing in their results. But I want to introduce you to Maria, who is one of our online fitness clients. She is absolutely crushing it. This is 11 weeks in. Now, she works in a school. And one of the things that she misunderstood, she thought she was moving around a lot. And when we actually tracked the data, she was not getting anywhere near the daily step count that she thought she was getting in. And this was a massive thing for her. And she was also absolutely terrified of the gym. Now you can see her abs are really starting to pop. And that's a mixture of two things. We have dropped her body fat. And we have got her training, not just winging it in the gym. She is on a very structured training program. Now, again, like her starting point was not absolutely, do you know what I mean? But she's getting married. She wants to go into her wedding in 2025 feeling the best that she has ever felt. She didn't want to settle for the woman on the left because it was knocking her confidence. Her self-esteem was really low when we had the initial conversation, and all of these parts of her body, like they were all impacting her work as well. And she didn't want to take that energy into the rest of the year. That's not what she wanted. She definitely didn't want to take it into her wedding day. So you can already see, and we've got loads of time left together, but that's 11 weeks, what you can actually achieve inside of the Strong Her program. We've also got Mandy. So she had actually worked with a PT before. And again, she didn't absolutely love training inside of the gym. She didn't love that feeling of being thrashed around by a man. That just wasn't a vibe for her. And again, I'm not a huge fan of men training women because I just think they've never lived a day inside of our body. And you all know as well as I do, we've got hormones. There are perimenopausal women inside of our program, postpartum women, women that are looking to have children, women that have had children, like you name it. A man just will never be able to relate to this. But she was afraid that she would fail because of the yo-yo dieting industry. So Mandy was one of those. When she came to us, she literally felt like she had tried everything and nothing was working. But what she didn't have was our approach, how detailed we are with her training program, with her nutrition, and it was all nutrition. Her biggest goal is the fat loss piece. But Mandy is also perimenopausal, so we've obviously got to make sure. So, for perspective, we drop bone density as women at the highest amount between the ages of 35 and 50. And the only way to caveat that is building muscle. So if you don't want to end up old and frail as fuck and unable to get off a toilet, which guess what the act of getting off a toilet is? It's just a squat. That's it. It's no more or less than squatting. And let me tell you something, when you're training with the right intensity, the day after, when you've first done it and you try and get off the toilet, you will know about it. You will suddenly think, fuck, I can't get off the toilet because you've worked muscles that you didn't even realize you had. So that was Mandy's concern. She thought she would really struggle with the idea of tracking her macros with meal prepping. Mandy also works really, really long hours, like 14-hour shifts. So she thought there's no way. She's also a mum to 2 boys. She was genuinely like, I don't know how I can fit it in. But we've broken it down and she's absolutely crushing it. So she's 37 pounds down after 40 weeks. And guess what? Mandy has had a birthday in that 40 weeks. She has celebrated her children's birthdays in that 40 weeks, her husband's birthday. She's gone on holiday during that time frame. So this is where we're talking about a sustainable approach to coaching. It's not a quick fad. It's not a 8 weeks and suddenly you're going to lose 4 stone. That's not the goal here. The goal is for us to teach you how you can build this in as a way of life so that you want to keep this up for the rest of time. And you do it once right, and then that's it. You can spread your wings and fly knowing that you're never going to feel like you were at the beginning of this approach. That's our entire purpose. We've also got Helen. Now, Helen is probably one of the busiest career women that we work with inside of the program. So she is a partner of a law firm. She works an incredible amount of hours in a week. And again, when you're a partner of a law firm, it's the same as me. So I'm a business owner. I work every single hour under the sun. I work weekends, I work like weekdays. It is busy. So any business owners on this Zoom will get it. And again, because Helen has got like essentially skin in the game with being a partner, it is her responsibility to make sure that nothing falters inside of the workplace. She's got huge responsibilities, but she was really, really afraid that there was no way she was going to be able to fit it all in. And Helen is a great example of what can be achieved. And the reason she came to me actually as well is because she felt quite uncomfortable. And again, she wasn't in bad shape when she came into the program, but she felt like her husband was in incredible shape. And she's obviously got children, and she really wanted to feel like I'm getting left behind at the moment. And I don't want that. I want to understand how I can actually sustain physical health and fitness inside of a plan that's going to work around me. So that is a massive part of what we do, tailoring everything around your specific requirements. She tried PTs. Again, they didn't understand her lifestyle. They didn't understand the life of someone that can easily work a 60-hour work week. So Helen has absolutely hit her goals, absolutely smashed it out of the park. But one of the things we are doing with Helen at the moment, and this is another area where most women get it wrong, is we've dropped the body fat. So she's lost, I think, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. It's on my Instagram story, so you'll be able to find it on there. But she's lost all of the weight that we wanted to lose at the same time as building that muscle. So she's obviously got really strong, and her muscle definition is obviously coming through, which is amazing. But now what we want to do, we don't just want her to end the diet phase and then completely just go back to how she was before, because guess what? All of that body fat that she spent this time losing is going to have gone. That's not what we want. And well, sorry, it'll just get put straight back on. So what we are doing is drip feeding her calories back up over a course of months, because it can take quite a while to do this, to do it properly, where we're drip feeding them. And what happens is your metabolism starts to speed up again. It doesn't notice the difference between, as an example, 1,500 calories one week to 1,600 to 1,700 to 1,800 and so on and so forth. And I'm testament to this because I can live my life very easily on over 3,000 calories a day. For perspective, I am 5'4" and I weigh 60 kilograms. So I don't actually know what that is in stone. Maybe call it 9 stone. I'm not entirely sure in stone. We work in kilos as online coaches. That's how we work. But this is it. It's like, and I've got a very low body fat percentage and a very high muscle mass percentage, which is why I look toned all year round and I can pretty much eat exactly what I want. And that is exactly what we are doing with Helen inside of the program. So this is me. This is a little bit about me and my backstory. So I basically got a bit chunky during COVID. I was always skinny, super, super skinny, I would say. And during COVID, we were highly stressed as business owners. We weren't in a great mental place. Thomas's dad got really, really poorly, and we couldn't see him because obviously nobody was allowed to. And the whole, like, our little mini bubble, like, the technical bubble, the COVID bubble, but our little household, we basically just ate whatever we wanted and we started to share a bottle of wine every single night. And let me tell you, that is also another trait you tend to see in very highly stressed career women. When you come home of an evening and you grab a glass of wine, it is really, really common practice. And that's obviously not getting you to the goals where we want. We want you to address the stress and be able to unwind in a completely different way. That wasn't my before photo either, by the way, because I did go with a PT, made a massive fundamental mistake. He was a man, he was a PT, no idea, no education on nutrition, didn't teach me how to drop body fat. My form was still absolutely fucking shite in the gym, and I basically wasted my money. Then I went and found myself an online fitness coach and owe basically everything to that woman because that's what got me to the point I am at today, and to a point where everything I know is what I teach inside of the program. I just have a very different niche in working with busy career women because that is what I know. I've got a background in farming, in agriculture. I've also worked inside the office, in sales teams, in all different departments, marketing, everything, you name it. I've done the desk job, everything, like long, long fucking hours. And as a business owner, you'll never work longer hours than when it's actually your baby that you're working towards. But this is it. You can see the difference. So every woman has this fear of lifting weights is going to make me look bulky. Show me a woman that is not taking steroids who gets bulky. It does not exist, women. Like, we do not have the testosterone that men have in order to get bulky. And I challenge any single woman to say that this photo of me looks bulky. Like, I would definitely argue my stomach was bulkier in this photo. Like, I basically had no legs either. Whereas now you can see that they're nice and toned. Nothing about me has bulked up. And that's years and years of strength training and resistance training, you might hear it called. It's all interchangeable. Weightlifting. That's what we do over here. And it's not bulky. It's this tonality that you see is made up of muscle. If you don't have any, there is nothing to show. So we've got to do both, drop body fat, build muscle at the same time. That's the goal for every single woman. So I'm going to talk you through. There are only 3 things that we need to focus on. Everybody overcomplicates it. It's really not that complicated. Nutrition. So the concept of dropping body fat is just to do with energy in, which is calories, to energy out, which is also calories. So the number of calories that we put into our body versus the number that we actually expend with our energy throughout the day. That is the piece of the puzzle that we need to balance, either in favor of dropping body fat or maintaining whatever the goal is specifically for each individual woman that we coach. That's where we want to get that balance bang on to get them to their goal. The easiest way of doing this, you got to track it, guys. You can't just be winging it. So you need to understand what your specific macro split should look like. So how many calories should you be on? How much protein, how much fats, and how much carbs? Now, this is a mathematical equation that is very specific to each individual woman. It depends how active you are in your day to day. It depends on your height, your age, and your weight. So all of these things have to play a part along with your lifestyle factors. That calculation can then be done, and then you know exactly how much you should be tracking of each of the macros in order to hit that goal. So smart technology is another thing that so many people get wrong. We actually had a woman inside of the program the other day. So Sarah, she actually said she was wearing 3 different fitness devices. I don't even know why. I think she was just doing it to prove a point. And all 3 of them, after her training session, gave out completely different readings on how many calories she had burned in that session. So if she used that data, so let's say you go running for an hour and your fitness watch tells you you've burned 450 calories. If you then go and smash a McDonald's thinking, yeah, that's about 450 calories, so I've earned it. I've earned it. This concept of attaching your energy output with your exercise and earning the right to a takeaway or to whatever food that you think you've earned, you are miles off. Miles off. And that is the number one thing. If you are doing that and you don't take anything else away from this session but that one thing, stop using your calories burned on a fitness device and thinking that is accurate. Because the moment you do that, you are going to push yourself into a calorie surplus and most likely start putting weight on. We do not earn our food. We need food to live. We cannot survive or function without food. So this notion of earning it, you've got to drop it. You've got to think about it. Either you're in a calorie deficit to drop body fat, you're maintaining if your goal is not to drop body fat, or if you're in a position like me where you've been training for years, you might even deliberately go into a surplus and overeat in order to bulk and try and build a bit more muscle. So this is it. It's maths and science coming together to get the right thing around every single woman's specific lifestyle requirements. But you should have a fitness tracker, but the only thing that you should be using it for is to track your steps. That's it. And I will get onto that in a bit. But you've got to track everything that you put into your body. So we actually fully encourage digital food weighing scales because, again, it's a really interesting thing and you can do it for yourselves. Like, do it tomorrow morning. Grab some porridge or granola and actually pour into a bowl what you think one serving size is. And it'll tell you on the packet that it's usually 35 grams or 40 grams per serving size. Pour it into a bowl and then put that bowl, like, then you'll have to take it out again. So put it in a separate thing. Weigh out a bowl, tear off your weighing scale so it's back at 0 and put that amount in and see if it's anywhere near the serving size that is on that packet. Is it 35 to 40 grams what you've been having, or is it more like 60 to 70? Suddenly, you can start to go, fuck, I had no idea I was actually consuming the amount of calories that I've actually been consuming. And this is where we really start to, the first 2 weeks are eye-opening, a game changer, because every single woman inside of the program says the same thing. I had no idea just how much I was actually consuming, and I'm a little bit like afraid of the concept of it. But the point is, when you're getting on track and you understand it, then it can change your fucking life. Like, it genuinely can change your life. So we teach the healthy food plate, so the healthy eating plate, which is essentially what we want to do. And this is more so for your, well, it stands the same for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, a little bit less so for breakfast. But for lunch and dinner, what we really teach inside of the program is 25% protein. So you always, every single plate that you are eating, every single breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything should be thinking, where is the protein on my plate? And I don't care if you're pescatarian, vegan, vegetarian, meat eater, I honestly don't care, because there are solutions for every single group of like choices that we make, but your protein needs to be your primary thing that you're choosing. Then we want 25% whole grain. So this is your carbohydrates. One of the mistakes people make is they either go too heavy on the carbs or they try and cut them out altogether. We want our plate to have that 25%. And even if you eyeball this, you will get better. You will start to see the body fat melt away. And then 50% of that plate should be fruit or vegetables. I hope you've all got water while you're watching live, because we also teach that. 3 liters of water a day. This is what every single woman should be aiming for everywhere. So again, if you haven't already, this is a great little stocking filler as well, by the way. A really quick like gift for yourself or for someone else to get you is grab yourselves one, like you can literally get them from Home Bargains, B&M, online. You can grab a Stanley if you made a money. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely fine, whatever way you want to go with it, but know what the literage of that water bottle actually is, and then know how many times you should be filling that up a day. And what goes in with the water is going to make its way out of your body. So guess what? You're also going to get your steps up because you're going to be peeing way more. And that's obviously not a bad thing, but we need to be making sure that we are hitting what that's doing is flushing the toxins out. And our bodies are majorly made up of water. So we need to make sure that we are replenishing that water supply. And especially as career-driven women, where you're probably sat down for long periods of the day, or you're not actively thinking about your water, or you're probably drinking a fuck ton of coffee to try and get you through the working day. Try switching out, having a water, then a coffee, then a water, and you can only have your coffee once you've had your water. Those kind of rules you can start to play in your mind and change the game just for yourselves. So again, one of the things, now this is more like we do work with women who have got a binge eating tendency. Some of the time they also don't necessarily realize they're doing it, but we do work with some women who think that eating one meal a day is okay. I'm here to tell you that is one of the fastest things that I would break in you as a coach. And this is again why I'm saying a PT is not going to get you to your goal. They are not looking into your food habits, your dietary habits, your eating patterns. I need to know that all of this data is logged and tracked, and it is worked through by our team. We have a team of coaches inside of this where we are looking at every single detail. Are you trying to skip meals? Guess what that does? It leads to snacking. Snacking leads to high calorie, convenient, sugary snacks that are likely to derail you. While I'm not saying that snacking is bad for you, we encourage every single woman inside of the program to have a portion of snacks a day. But what we can't have is skipping meals in favor of snacking. That's where we've got to undo the work and we've got to unpick it. So protein, why is it so important? So obviously inside of this program, we want to be working on that muscle piece. If we put you into a calorie deficit, and if your goal is anything to do with dropping body fat, that is what we are going to do. Again, this is why what are they called? Weight Watchers and all of that bollocks doesn't work, because you will also be losing muscle in a calorie deficit if you don't understand the macronutrient split and why protein has to stay at a certain level, why you should also be strength training alongside it, because we've got to be keeping that muscle mass where it is. And you also get what's called newbie gains. In your first 6 to 12 months, you can actually drop body fat and build muscle mass at the same time. You don't get that again. And it's really important to maximize that, which is why just willy-nilly messing around in the gym's probably not going to get you your goal. There is a very important way of programming. And we need to be building that muscle whilst we're in a calorie deficit. So the two go hand in hand. So that protein goal. Now, a good rule of thumb is to aim for around 1.5 times your body weight in kilos. So let's say, so if we take me, I weigh 60 kilos. I need to be consuming a minimum of 90 kilos a day. Now, we usually set our clients a slightly higher target, for the reason being that if you then miss your slightly higher target, you've most likely hit it. So psychologically, that's what we're just aiming to push them up a little bit. Also, if tracking's a little bit off, we know they're likely to have hit it. But This is why Slimming World Weight Watchers, they're not going to teach you this because, again, they're not qualified to teach you this. They're actually not qualified at all, which it blows my brain. The qualifications you need to teach at Slimming World and Weight Watchers is just to have lost weight. That's it. That, like, whereas I actually have to have qualifications to do this, or I would literally be struck off and sued. They don't need that. The rules are different, and it's just wild because anyway, we'll go down a rabbit hole. It's going to boost your metabolism. So it's also so protein basically it what it does is it's called satiety. So it's going to leave you feeling a lot fuller for longer. So if you had a packet of crisps versus a chicken breast, the chicken breast is actually going to fill you up for a lot longer than the packet of crisps. It's scientifically proven. So we absolutely want that. And it's going to help you burn more calories at the same time. But also, while you're training, it is going to help you improve that recovery. So when I said about struggling to get off the toilet after your first lifting session, that protein's got to be high because we need to be able to recover, to be able to go about the rest of our day. So that's the reason why we do it. Now, protein comes in all different forms. So we've got basically any meat, any fish, like tuna is absolutely incredible. And you can also, for busy career women on the bounce, you can also buy the readily drained tuna. What you don't want to do is get it in oil, basically. So sunflower oil, because all that's going to do is majorly spike up the calories. Oil in general is really high in calories. So we want to be trying to make really clever moves here. But any kind of fish, any kind of meat, anything like that, ideally the leaner the better. So if you're used to cooking with something like 20% mincemeat, you want to switch it out to as lean as you can get. So 3 to 5% is incredible. You don't even necessarily these days. You used to have to. I remember my mum switching it out when she was trying to lose weight. She switched it out like turkey mince in chili, and we thought it was absolutely fucking sin. So if you've got children, just prepare. If they have chili and it suddenly comes out with white mince, they'll be looking at it like, Mum, I'm not eating that. But nowadays, you could just buy beef mince really low as well. Aldi, Lidl, everywhere sells this stuff, guys. M&S, Waitrose, you can buy it anywhere. Protein for vegetarians and vegans, lentils, peas, black beans, edamame, tofu, tempeh, green peas, spinach, quinoa, chia seeds, all of this. There are honestly an abundance, and none of that includes the readily made things that you can buy, like the vegan burgers, the vegetarian burgers. Like they will be made up of lentils, chickpeas, black beans, all of this stuff. So there are no shortage of the things that you guys can consume in terms of protein. Aldi, Lidl are really ahead of the curve on this as well in terms of high protein, low calorie options. So you can buy high protein cheese, you can buy the high protein yogurts, pouches, you name it, they pretty much do it. Sometimes it's really hard to buy, but they do them. And the other supermarkets are catching up. Where are we? So, next slide. Hang on. Right. So, understanding your macros. So, when I said carbohydrates are not the enemy, I really fucking meant that. And the reason for that is protein. For every 1 gram of protein that you consume, it holds 4 calories. For every 1 gram of carbohydrates you consume, it also contains 4 calories. So, in terms of the macronutrient calorie information, they are the same. Fats, however, are 9 calories per every 1 gram. So, every woman who comes into our program, we will put on a high protein diet and a low fat diet. And the reason for that is because you do not get as much fat for your calorie allowance as you would with protein and carbohydrates. So this is where when you see high fat diets and this, that, and the other, like again, it's all bollocks because you're not going to be able to consume as much food as if you would by doing it a different way. So, but the one consideration here is that carbohydrates, for every 1 gram you consume, you will hold on to around 4 grams of water weight. But water weight is not the enemy here. Fat is the enemy. And I don't mean fat as in the macronutrient, I mean fat as in body fat. We want to get the body fat down to a safe place, to a healthy BMI. I mean, I'm not mad on the BMI chart because it tells me I'm overweight and I'm not overweight. It doesn't account for any muscle mass. But for the average person, a BMI is a good indicator of where you sit in terms of the obesity to non-obesity levels, basically. So they're your considerations. But we need all three as women, even more so once we reach our 30s, even more so if you are perimenopausal, even more so if you've had babies, all of these things, we need carbohydrates, we need protein, and we need fat. So fats are really good for hormonal health, protein, all the reasons I mentioned, and carbohydrates are our biggest energy source. So we got to be making sure that we get all three into our system. So now we're really getting into it. So the second piece of the puzzle, so I mentioned there were three. Obviously, nutrition was the first one. The second one is everybody feels like when they get older, they're like, my metabolism's broken. It's broken. It's just stopped working. No, it hasn't. You have. You've stopped moving. Like if you take yourself back, or even if you've got children, think about playtime when you were 11 years old in a playground. Those fuckers run around like there is no tomorrow. They are moving all of the damn time, aren't they? Like try and get kids to sit still for a long enough period of time is nigh impossible. Now you take that into your desk job, guess what? You became really sedentary. Now, some women can get away with it. They might have a slightly more active job. Some people have got a dog, so it might mean that you are getting your steps in. But again, 9 times out of 10, what's happening is women have slowed down. And we've got to get it back up because, again, everything we do is a calculation. So if you are highly sedentary, the multiplier that I would do for your macronutrients and how many calories you are allowed to consume would be on a 1.2 multiplier. Whereas a moderately active person who is training 3 to 5 days a week and hitting 10,000 steps a day, they get a multiplier of 1.55. That is an enormous difference for how many calories you have. So we have two enormous goals when women come into this program. And one of them is to make sure that you are getting higher steps every single week. We are building those blocks and we're working with you. And not everybody can hit that 10K a day. We do have women inside of the program where we have to make different adjustments for how they can actually reach their step goal. And again, if you come into the program, and there's no shade on this, by the way, because we're here to help you. But if anyone comes into this program, they're currently doing 2,000 steps a day, the last thing we're going to do is set you 10,000 because that is going to feel like the biggest uphill battle. So what we are going to do is inch them up. So we're going to increase them by 20, 30 minutes each week to a point where you suddenly go, yes, I've fucking smashed it. So that has to be a goal. We've got to drop the body fat, but we've also got to get you moving because there's only one way to keep putting on more body fat. And again, it's energy in, energy out. So we've got to be reducing the energy in and increasing the energy out to make sure that we found that balance so we can drop that body fat. That is our primary goal. So another mistake that a lot of people make is that basically this is how your calories are burned in a day. The highest number of calories burned are when you are asleep. So everyone thinks, no, I'm going out on a run and I'm going to burn 500 calories. No, you're not. It's not going to happen. The biggest number of calories are your body just functioning, your liver, your heart, your organs, your digestion system, you breathing, your skin just sweating, just existing. Even if you went into a coma and you didn't move, you would still burn the highest number of calories doing that, which is nothing, than what you would by actually actively exercising. And we have to break this down because, again, so many women get this wrong. Now, we do want to be doing some low intensity cardiovascular exercise like your steps, which again count as your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So this is around 15% of the overall calories burned, which is just walking to the loo, which is why I said get your water up. Also, we want to get our water up, but it's going to aid in actually going to the toilet more, which is going to get your steps in. Walking a dog, walking from the, like, after this webinar into the lounge where my family is sat, like all of these things, that's just going to burn more more calories, sorry, than exercise actually will. So again, it's this reconfiguring your brain. So we're not using the exercise that we do inside of this program to burn calories. We are using it to build muscle mass and tonality. The food piece is the piece we are using to drop your body fat percentage, and the steps are our cardiovascular piece to get you moving, to get your heart rate up, and also to try and aim for that additional 15% of calories burned. They all go hand in hand, but they all serve a very, very different purpose. So again, your steps are burning more active calories in a day. So the further you are from 10,000, that's a number one goal, a number one thing for you to be trying to work on. And yes, you should have some kind of Fitbit, Apple Watch, what are the other ones? Garmin. I don't care if it's a 20 quid knockoff from Argos. They're out there. I got my Apple Watch on Facebook Marketplace years ago, and it's still going strong to this day. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be flashy. If you want a flashy one, go and get a flashy one. Again, could be a great Christmas present if you're thinking of ideas. So the final piece of our puzzle is weightlifting. Like I said, this is nothing to do with fat loss. We are not going to the gym or training. It doesn't have to be done in the gym. We have about a 50-50 split inside of the Strong Her program. Some train from home using dumbbells only. Some prefer a gym environment. We honestly, there's no pressure from us either way. It's more about making sure that you're doing it. So again, we are not losing muscle as we age. We're not losing muscle in a calorie deficit as we drop the body fat. And who the fuck doesn't want to be stronger? Like, we actually had a client in week 1 of the program, bless her. She was picking up her daughter to put her to sleep, and she pulled her shoulder. Nothing to do with lifting, but all it did was demonstrate how weak her body had become because she wasn't keeping up with any strength training. Like, and this is the kind of consideration that you don't want to be in that position, ladies. You don't want to be the old, frail lady that can't carry her shopping. And I promise you, the work you put in today is what's going to serve you later down the line. It is paramount that we actually get stronger. And again, who doesn't want to be toned on holiday? Who doesn't want to look good in a bikini? The side effects to it are amazing. This is what we want. So we obviously encourage every single woman inside the program to stick to their training plans. We design them. I write every single program of every single woman that comes into our little world, if you like, and they change every 4 to 6 weeks depending on the phase every woman's in. And it's designed to what we call progressively overload, which means we have to be getting stronger. We have to be lifting heavier. There are lots of different ways that we can progressively overload a program that don't just involve lifting more weight. But every single woman who comes in usually starts on really low weights, and then they get to a point where they're like, right, I actually need to go out and invest in some new weights because I'm now, this is easy. And what we want to do is make sure that we are always training very, very close to failure, where you physically struggle to do a single other rep. And we do the form checks with all of the women where they send me all of their videos, and we're making sure everybody is lifting optimally. So this is what we do inside of the program. So again, really, really important. We've got to make sure that that form is right, but we've got to make sure that everybody is lifting, because again, you're not going to get bulky, you're going to get toned. That is the end goal. So this is an example of one of them. By the way, like, feel free to screenshot this. That's absolutely fine. Now, this is my view. So everything we do runs inside of one app. And it's designed, we have loads of different parts of it, but it won't look like this inside of the app. So this is my view that I see as the coach writing the programs. But these are all videos. So every single woman can click into the video. It will demonstrate it's all me. So you're not just watching some random dude or such, you know what I mean? Like some stick figure doing any of the exercises. It is all me. It's all filmed at the angles that are designed to give you the best way of actually replicating what I'm doing. But we also, again, we're big on form. I have high level videos on exactly how to set up every single bit of kit, to immediate videos where you're training at home, training in the gym, and you need to copy me to get the workout done. You always know your sets, you always understand your reps, and there is a full breakdown. Obviously, you can't see the rest of it, but there is a full breakdown of every single exercise. There's also an overview. I haven't put it on here, of every single phase. So again, you can see exactly what like the phase is designed for you to achieve. So we go through accumulation phases, intensification phases, which is fancy language, but it's all built and designed in such a way you don't want to be winging it. And the reason for that is those newbie gains. That first 6 to 12 months of your lifting game is the most important. And I very much almost wasted it by getting a PT without a structured program. And I did the same workout every single day, 7 days straight. I fell into that stupid category, thinking I needed to train 7 days a week. You don't. But I did literally the same workout for 7 days on the trot for 3 months. Nobody told me otherwise. But this is it, 3 hours max. There are some of the women inside of the program who are on a 4 day or a 5 day training split. They're usually a little bit younger. They are usually also don't have children. And that's a reality. But all we ask for as a bare minimum, and I don't care who you are, there's 168 hours in a working week. If you're telling me you can't find 3, I'm going to call bullshit and good luck. You might as well leave this webinar right now, because I'm going to tell you that if you're not committed, and I mean the very fact you're here, you're giving up like almost an hour of your evening already, that tells me that you can find the time. And again, I don't care if it's from home, I don't care if it's in the gym, but 3 hours most weeks. And again, what we love to see is getting women to a point where they go on holiday and they are still training on holiday. And that is the point where you want to do it, even in your downtime. That training has become such an exciting part of your life that you want to do it on holiday because it's your respite, it's your downtime. It becomes, let me tell you, when you manage to lift such a good amount of weight and your form is bang on and you know you've worked out and you feel incredible, when fucking Jimmy from HR or some absolute bellend drops into your inbox with an absolute bomb going off, it doesn't touch you because you already feel incredible. And it's honestly like the stress levels, and it obviously releases endorphins, the feel good factors. There is no better thing for mental health, put it that way. And a lot of women in high stress environments, they do find this their way out. It's something that genuinely changes their life. So this is an example of a dumbbell only plan. So you can see it's very similar. And it's very similar because they're basically the same phase, but one is from home and one is from the gym. So again, I design each woman's program around the equipment that you've got. Yes, again, we might need to make a little bit of an investment in heavier weights later down the line, but 30 quid. £30 is the investment needed to get started with a set of dumbbells that are adjustable on Amazon. That's all you need. So anyone again that tells me 30 quid, you can't invest that, I'm like, you're in the wrong room. You're not in the right space, because we're not here for excuses. We're here for results, and that's what we do. So again, screenshot that. If you're training from home, you're more than welcome to use that. And if anybody does want a 3 day, I think there is only a gym version, but all you have to do is, I'm pretty sure it'll work if you DM me. DM me the word barbell. Failing that, go and have a look through one of my last 12 reels and you will see the reel that says DM me the word barbell, and you will receive a free 3-day training program. That's really hard to say, but this is it. Everything is designed very specifically with how we operate over here, but you'll fall in love with it. Everybody always does. So I'm just going to take you through a few things that derail people, which is weekends. So this is often where a lot of women don't realize that they're going wrong. But weekends are 30% of your week. They still matter. We can make adjustments. And what I've talked about in the next slide is exactly how we can do that. So, again, drinking, take consideration here. But this is what we call calorie banking. So, we also teach this inside of the program. Now, I'm only going to touch on this here because, quite honestly, it's a big topic, a big subject matter. I do have a full training on this as well. If anybody wants that, let me know. Just DM me on Instagram and I'll dig that out. But this is it. This is the kind of, so every single week we hold a live Zoom training for the women inside of the program, 8 o'clock every single Monday night. This is the sort of detail that we go into to make sure that everybody is set up with different plans. We've got a Christmas training happening tomorrow so that people feel comfortable, confident that they can still hit their goals through the festive season. But if you have a look here, what we're looking at is somebody that is maybe in a 1500 calorie, so that, well, their maintenance calories are 2000. Okay, that would be breaking even. They're not going to drop any body fat, but they're not going to put any weight on. But what you can see in the deeper red is instead of just dropping to 1500 calories to get into that deficit, because they've got weekend plans over here and they know they're going to go over their calories on a Friday and a Saturday. And what they've actually done is gone over their maintenance calories by 250 on both of those days. So what we would teach is just dropping another 100 off all of these other days. And what they're then going to do is have 500 calories on top of maintenance so that they're no longer, do you know what I mean? They're actually still going to be able to drop the body fat and they're not going to derail themselves at the weekend. So what we teach is the concept of calorie banking, where all you do is take your normal deficit, lower it a little bit throughout the days that you don't have plans, and then that buys you a little bit of a buffer on the days that you do have plans. So, but the other reason why I mention it's vital, like we can't even take this approach with anyone who's in a highly sedentary bracket because you probably won't even have 1500 calories to play with. So the idea of dropping them further would be too steep, and again it would be setting you up to fail. So we got to get you moving so that even your deficit calories are really, really good. So then even if we want to lower them to 1400, 1350, you can still survive on that really nicely. You can still get by on that. And then you can enjoy this Friday, Saturday night extra calories without any guilt whatsoever, knowing that you're still going to lose almost a pound of body fat that week. So that's just a quick example. Like I say, it is a complicated subject matter, but it's the kind of approach that we teach inside of the program. So you don't have to feel like you can never have plans, that you cannot celebrate Christmas. Like it doesn't work that way. So, navigating the party season, we're obviously coming into it. Like a lot of you will have experienced different plans throughout December, but the way we view it inside of this program, we teach lifestyle coaching, which means it's not a 6 week fad. It's not a really quick fix that you're going to lose 3-4 stone in 6 weeks. It's not going to happen. But we don't want any woman inside of this program to be viewing their health and fitness as a short-term goal. You've got to start thinking about it as your health and fitness is a lifelong pursuit. It's something that you don't want to be picking up and dropping, picking up and dropping, picking up and dropping. You want to be thinking, right, okay, how can I do this so sustainably that I'm forever doing this, that I'm always finding a way to navigate and prioritize my health and fitness. So I'm never going to feel guilty for celebrating Christmas or Ramadan or whatever religion you guys are from. You're never going to feel guilty for doing that because it's just one day out of 365 days of the year. If you get to the gym 75 of those days, if you're in a calorie deficit for 300 of those days, if you're depending on your goals, obviously, and depending on where you're at, but do you know what I mean? It's this kind of thing where you're going, right, okay, you know what? Yeah, I don't need to 100% smash this. We do not aim for 10 out of 10 inside of this program. And the reason for that is, again, that sets you up to fail. We aim for an 80% adherence for all women. That means you've always got a 20% buffer for things and shit that are called real life. And guess what? They're going to happen. This is real life coaching. So, this is what we want to do. Now, I would say limit the damage control. Consider the days that you are going to commit to really enjoying it, or consider the days where you've got plans, you've got meals out. Really think about your protein first. Genuinely make that decision. So at least you know you're likely to be hitting your protein. Really think about alcohol. So, clear spirits have fewer calories in than other spirits. So, if you're thinking about, like, so gin, slimline tonic, 55 calories, vodka, Diet Coke, or Pepsi, the one that has no calories in, also 55 calories. Those kind of drinks, again, could limit your damage control. You could also think, right, I'm going to have an alcoholic drink. Now I'm going to have a glass of water. No one's going to know that's not vodka. No one's going to know that. So this is it. Start to think about getting a little bit savvy, but it's a whole month, December. Nobody can tell me that they have plans for the entirety of December. So it may well be that you go, right, I can get to the gym those days, or I can work out on those days, but I'm not going to aim for 100% in December, because also you should have a nice time. I'm going to enjoy some downtime. I'm going to enjoy time with my family as well. Do you know what I mean? And I practice what I preach, and you should all be able to do the same. But everybody is then going to switch the fuck on. For January, it is going to be enormous. It's our busiest month of the entire calendar year for women coming into the program as well. So, and we're very exclusive about who we work with, but naturally, it's obviously a very big part of the year. So, also, so protein and fiber, like I said, prioritize those. Stay hydrated. So, again, that drinking some water rule. Choose your indulgences wisely. Limit your liquid calories, and also don't skip meals. One of the other number one rules that we have inside of this program is you do not starve yourselves for any dinner. We do not do it. What that means is you're going to turn up to that dinner absolutely fucking ravenous, and you're going to order everything on the menu. Whereas actually, if you'd have had a reasonable breakfast, a reasonable lunch, maybe even a snack before you go, you're not going to feel starving. You're going to eat a normal human sized portion, which I can guarantee would be less calories over the total day than if you starve yourself all day and then absolutely go balls to the wall at that meal. That's not how we roll over here. But again, something that we teach inside of the program. Right, bear with. Right, I'm going to take a 2 minute break. Now, you guys have got a choice here. So if you want to leave, honestly, please feel free. This is, we do not do anything to do with any pressure here whatsoever. And I hope if anyone that does want to leave at this point and doesn't want to find out anything about the coaching, that is absolutely fine. You are honestly absolutely free to do that. It has been awesome having you here. I don't know what has happened to my QR code, so this could be a problem, but we'll see. But this is it. I will be going into that special offer. I just need a quick wee, or I might need to look at this QR code. There you go. It is there. I don't know what happened to that slide. But take 2 minutes. But like I say, if anyone wants to leave at this point, you're absolutely free to leave. I'll just check the chat box. If anyone's got any questions as well, this is a great opportunity to put them in. So I will be back in 2 moments once I've just had a quick wee. And then, yeah, we'll just finish off. Give me 2 minutes, guys. I'm back. Right, nobody left. That's a good sign. It's a good sign that you enjoyed it, which is amazing. Right, so give me 2 seconds. Right, so I want to take a moment genuinely to acknowledge every single one of you for turning up. Like I say, I think it might be my fault. I've recorded it because I genuinely think I could have had a technical glitch. People were DMing me right before we were coming on, but that might not have been the case. It might genuinely be that all of the other pretty much 50 or so women just didn't decide to show up for themselves. And like I say, we reward action takers, people who are serious about their health and fitness. That's what we do. So we want to help you make 2025 the year that all of your dreams come true in terms of your health and fitness and prioritizing it and getting your confidence to the highest level, because that is what we do day in, day out. So I have put something together that's exclusive for those of you who are ready to take big action pretty much right now. So this isn't offered to just anyone. This is purely what we're going to do as a result of you guys taking action. So the first one, which is again just for you guys, so it's a 3-month fast track offer. So this is perfect for the ladies who are ready to hit the ground running. You want to do a massive, we call it a 90-day sprint in January. You want to hit the ground running, get back on track to feel amazing. So you will get everything that you need, everything that we teach, access to everything, basically everything I've gone through today, all of the one-to-one tailored, literally everything with me and my coaches working with you to smash that 90-day sprint. But because it's 2025, we're also going to give you 25% off for the privilege of doing that. And for the first 3 women that take this up, you will also get 3 months free coaching. So we're basically giving you the discount and you're getting 3 months for doing that entirely free. So let me just move on to the longer term one, which this again is completely person specific, and it also depends how big your goals are. It's really difficult for me to say without knowing the specifics about each of you. But if you really want to see like the best results, which a lot of the ladies in our program are, then we do have a 12-month Strong Her VIP offer. This is for women who are genuinely serious. You view health and fitness as a long-term strategy. You want to go through all of the phases that we offer, which include the reverse diet. You want to do it properly, and you genuinely want 2025 to be your year where you figure it all out and then you can sustain that for the rest of your life. You will also automatically, through this offer, get 3 months plus December for free. So you will come into the program, you will access all of the training, access the nutrition, access the game plan. So you know January, you can absolutely hit the ground running. So you get a bit of a dabble. Even if you can't fully commit to it, it's free anyway. So that's also available. But we're also going to give you over £1,000 worth of bonuses. So we do have a few little treats up our sleeves to really sweeten the deal. So it's going to include an exact specific one-to-one session with you on a nutrition roadmap. I'm also going to do a specific one-to-one with you. I really want to get to know every single inch of everything going on inside of your brain. Any limiting beliefs, it's really important for me to be able to squash those really early on so that, again, you can hit the ground running. And I want to know exactly what you think might be derailing you, holding you back. Any of that, we'll work through that together. We also invite anyone that goes for the 12-month Strong Her VIP offer the opportunity to come and work with me and the coaches inside of the program to actually come and train with us in person. There is also the potential to do a photo shoot as well with your after. So we've obviously got the before photos and the after photos where you will be in prime physical fitness. Like the differences in your body, you will want to share it off and show the whole thing off. So there is also the opportunity to do a photo shoot with me and my team, completely closed doors, so nobody else will be there, completely safe environment. But this is it. We want it to be fun, we want it to be supportive, and we want it to be exciting. So if either of these options seem like something you would like to explore further, what we are doing is, and there's no obligation, by the way, but what we're saying is scan the QR code, book in for a call, And all it's going to be, I just need to get to know you. I need to get to know your goals. We'll also, worst case scenario, we'll go through a 2025 game plan. Best case scenario, you come into the coaching program with a team of coaches around you to support you to get to those goals. But there is no pressure on these calls. If you didn't get that, like my approach from this webinar, it's that we are very chilled. We are very, do you know what I mean? I've got a potty mouth. We swear all the time. We want the whole thing to be fun and engaging and exciting. But if you think either of those options might even remotely be for you, then honestly, bag one of those calls. We will go through it and we'll just chew the fat. I'll get to know you. You'll get to know me a little bit more. I want to understand your goals, what you're trying to get to, what your biggest struggles are. And like I say, worst case scenario, how can you do it if you're watching on a phone? Oh, that's a good question. Screenshot. Screenshot it. We were doing this all in Dubai last week. So they're really big on reviews out there. So they were like, can you review? Can you review? And what we did is screenshot it. And then after, if you got somebody else's phone, you'll be able to then click on it. Does that make sense? So you'll be able to hover over the barcode using someone else's phone. So it's going to depend, Josie. Have you got a partner? Have you got somebody else? I mean, I'm going to screenshot your guys' names now. I can see the bookings are already coming in. So don't hang around. If you want one of those deals, that's what I'm going to do. But I can send you the I've booked it. Yeah, there you go. They're already getting booked. But I can send you it now as well, Josie, on Instagram. If anybody else is on their phone and you can't see it, let me know. But yeah, this is specifically exclusively for you guys, your partners away. I'll send you it. I'll send you the booking link. Give me 2 seconds. Hang on. Let me see if I can put it in the chat. Close that a second. Hang on. Right, where are we? What is it? Calendly. What I'll do, I'll just send it to you direct. I feel like otherwise I'll get really confused and I won't know what's going on. So I'll just send you the link direct. Don't worry about it, honestly. Yeah, I'll send it to you, Steph. I'll send it to you, Josie. Kelly, I think you've already booked on. I'll just send it to anyone that's on. But yeah, I am gonna love you and leave you all. Like I say, get booked on. No pressure from me. I'm good either way. The spaces will get filled, but I would absolutely love to explore it with you ladies. And you've taken the time out. So at the very least, I want to give back and give you those 2025 game plan sessions. But yeah, absolutely loved it. Did you all enjoy that? Was it helpful? Did you take value from it? And did you genuinely enjoy that? I'd love to hear how you all found it. Mm. Good, amazing. That warms my cockles. Right, peace out, ladies. I love you all. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.